the doors are officially open to Real Estate Bestie Academy. Now, I wanted to tell you all about Real Estate Bestie Academy, and I'm going to come back at the end to do so, to give you just a little bit more insight. But I thought to myself, what better way to let our besties know about what they can expect if they are considering the academy than to actually hear from two amazing students who went through the experience with me and all of our real estate besties just a few months ago. Hey friends, I'm Rosemary Lewis, your homegirl, and I'm so excited that you are here. I do not care what it looks like on Instagram or HGTV. This whole being a realtor thing is not for the faint at heart. In 2017, I quit my job as a teacher to follow my real estate dreams and quickly found myself overwhelmed and struggling. Fast forward to today. Not only have I been recognized as one of the leaders in our industry, I have actually grown a business that I absolutely love. I don't care if you're a brand new agent trying to figure out how to get started or a veteran feeling overwhelmed and just stuck. I was just like you, and I totally get it. Many times I wish there was someone that I could just talk to about all the challenges I was facing. And that is why I created this space just for you. Like best friends do, I'm giving you all the tea related to navigating and thriving in these real estate streets. If I can do it, guess what? That's proof that you can too. Everything's better with friends, so let's succeed together. Welcome to the Real Estate Bestie Podcast. Well, hey there, besties. Welcome to episode number 116, where we are chatting all things Real Estate Bestie Academy. And I am so excited to introduce you to two special guests that are going to be joining us for this episode. But before I get into it, listen, I have a question for you. I am just curious on how you all are tracking on your New Year's goals. So if you are listening to this episode at the time that I am recording it, when it is released, we are right at the beginning of January still. The episode will release just after about a week or so after New Year's. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know about you, but it feels like Christmas and New Year's and all of that was so far away, so much so that I know it is easy for a lot of us to kind of put to the side some of those New Year resolutions, some of those goals, some of those intentions that we have for the new year. Now, I'm here to tell you, listen, because remember, we did all the goal setting, we talked about planning, and even last week I shared with you on how I'm using even my alcohol-free journey in the real estate business and gave you some tips. If you haven't checked that out, listen to episode 114. I have been getting so much good feedback, not only on the episode, but also all of the besties who are joining me, whether it's Dry January or just trying to be alcohol free. Look, we are in this together, but we're also using these strategies to help us in our business. And this is what I don't want to happen, right? I don't want you to find yourself in the middle of January, then it's February, then the calendar is rolling, and all of that motivation, all of those things that you were so excited to achieve and get to for 2024, I don't want it to become a distant memory, or worse, a shoulda, coulda, woulda in your life. And that is one of the reasons why we are having this episode, because right now in January of 2024, the doors are officially open to Real Estate Bestie Academy. Now, I wanted to tell you all about Real Estate Bestie Academy, and I'm going to come back at the end to do so, to give you just a little bit more insight. But I thought to myself, what better way to let our besties know about what they can expect if they are considering the academy than to actually hear from two amazing students who went through the experience with me and all of our real estate besties just a few months ago. So today you are going to be introduced to two amazing besties. Cecilia, who is a real estate bestie, y'all. She is in my market. We actually go to the same church, but did not know each other. I met her maybe a month before she joined the academy. We were introduced by a mutual friend. A friend referred her to me for mentorship. And I told her, hey, the academy is coming. The academy is coming. And she definitely took the opportunity to invest in herself. And you're going to hear her experience. And then you're going to meet Miss Ray. Ray is in Tennessee. Of Facebook or Instagram, I think is how we were originally connected. And she has been rocking with the podcast since the very beginning. And now we can officially say we are real life real estate besties. So I want you to listen to exactly their experience and their takeaways and how investing in themselves. And I'm not just talking about the few dollars that the academy costs. I am literally talking about the investment of time and the work that they put in and how that has enriched their process already. So take a listen and meet my friends Cecilia and Ray. Cecilia, welcome to the Real Estate Bestie podcast.
Hi, Rosemary. Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited just to have you, and it's just been a pleasure getting to know you over the past couple months. And I know that I know all about you, but introduce yourself to the besties. Let them know how long you've been in the business and maybe what you were doing before you got into real estate full time.
Absolutely. So I started my career 30 plus years ago in the healthcare industry on the payer side, working for Blue Cross Blue Shield. And then I transitioned around 2007 to the technology space in healthcare.
Okay.
I have always had an interest in real estate since like the mid 90s.
Okay.
I didn't pursue it back then because I was on this trajectory in my healthcare career that was going upward.
Yes.
And that was some consistent income that I knew I could count on. And so I decided, I just kind of stuffed that real estate dream on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through my journal probably about 2 weeks ago when I was cleaning out my office, and I found a note from 2019, December 2019, where I journaled about real estate again, but I
Wow.
kind of pushed it to the side again. And in 2021, because during the pandemic, we were all stuck at home and nothing to do. I kind of revamped it and decided in 2021 to go ahead and get my license.
Wow.
So I was studying while I was working full time and got the license in November of 2021 and started as a dual agent in January 2022. And I was just really feeling led to move forward with real estate full time. And only God will lead you to go into a field full time when the market is down and things
Yep.
are not exactly favorable, right? So I made that transition to real estate full time in August of this year.
Okay, I love it. I mean, there are so many parts of your story that I absolutely love. And I know that a lot of our besties will be able to resonate. But the thing that sticks out to me is that, sometimes we get the feeling like it's too late or we've missed our opportunity to do something. And you are proof that, you know what, you sometimes, even if you like there was nothing wrong with you, pursuing your healthcare career, like there is a time and a season for everything. And I love that you still had this dream. And when you saw the opportunity to pursue it, you just went for it. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you definitely were one of our shining stars in this last cohort of the academy. And I'm just curious because you just came over and started full time in August. So, how would you describe your business prior to joining Real Estate Bestie Academy? And honestly, what was the driver to have you make that investment in yourself?
Absolutely. So for me, just my nature, I'm a very organized, systematic type person.
Okay.
And that just, I flow better when I'm in an organized space. When I came over to real estate full time, I didn't have that structure that I need. So I kind of
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was just all over the place trying to figure
Yes.
out what things I needed to be doing, when I needed to do them, just all of that. I knew what I needed to do, but I just didn't have a system.
Yep.
And so without that system, it just felt like I was just doing a whole bunch of things and not really accomplishing anything.
Yeah, throwing a lot on the wall. I felt like that. Like I would feel like, I was consistently, it's like that day after vacation. That day after vacation when you like, what day is it? What I'm supposed to be doing? And it
Uh-huh.
takes you time to get acclimated. But without the systems, I just felt like I was living that day over and over and over again.
Absolutely. And there were a lot of frustrating days in that, during that time period from August when I started full time. Because prior to August, I had about 2 hours in the evening to invest before I was just
Done.
exhausted.
Yep.
So yeah, so once that happened, I knew that I needed something. Of course, I had been listening to your podcast, and which I just love.
Oh,
And
thank
so
you.
when I heard about the academy, I figured, this might be just what I need to help me to put that structure in place around my business.
No,
And
I love
so
that.
yeah.
I love that. So let me ask you this. You now are post academy. We ended our cohort at the time of this recording a month or a couple months ago. How has your approach to those systems changed with what you have learned? And what would be maybe your biggest takeaway from your experience?
My approach has changed drastically. After attending the academy, I now know how to block my time in a
Hmm.
way that adds value to my day. So I don't feel like I'm just spinning my wheels all day long and
Hmm.
not accomplishing anything. I'm adding new context to my database daily. I'm having those conversations with my sphere daily.
Yeah.
And so that structure, and it just feels productive. At the end of the day, I feel like I have accomplished some of the things that will get me to my goal down the line.
No, I love that. I love that. And that makes a big difference in just the way you show up in your confidence when you know you're not just spinning your wheels to be spinning your wheels.
Hmm.
So tell me about this. What would be one part, and like if you were speaking to someone, because it is an investment, right? It's an investment in yourself, it's an investment in your business. And as you stated, someone like yourself, you just came over full time. So when, I don't know about you, but when I first got into real estate, I'm like, when am I gonna make some money? Because I keep spending money, right?
Yes.
That's to get
Yes.
started. So, what would you say to someone who is on the fence about making an investment, whether it be Real Estate Bestie Academy or something? What would you encourage them though? Like if they're really thinking about joining Lincoln Arms with us, what would you say to them of what they should expect and why they should actually make the investment in themselves?
And I'll say this, I struggled with that too, because the
Yep.
money is not there right now. And I
Hmm.
had a conversation with my husband before signing up. I said, I really think that this will be beneficial, but the money, don't want to pay the money. And his response was, baby, make the investment in yourself. And
I
so
love
I
that.
would encourage, those of you who may be on the fence, if you can do it, make that investment, because what you get from it, even in confidence and structure and goal setting and all of those things, it's priceless. It
Mm.
really doesn't compare to the amount of money that it costs to be a part of the academy. So that would be my encouragement, is that just go ahead and take the leap, and you won't be disappointed.
I love that. And I love what you're saying about investing in yourself. I would look at, different programs or different things that, it looked like I would learn from it, but it took a while for me to understand that I wasn't investing in this person's product or this person's service. I wasn't making an investment in myself because they had, they were further along ahead of me on the trajectory of where I wanted to go. And by investing in, making sure it's the right fit, that's number one. A lot of times we don't want to throw money at stuff that doesn't make sense. But, making those investments was actually saying yes to me. I was thinking I was saying no to them and what they were selling, but it's really about saying yes to me.
Yes, exactly. That's it in a nutshell. That is exactly it, because I approach each day so much differently. I know what I'm going to do. I'm confident about having the conversations because of the role playing and the scripts, and we walk through those, in the group, and I'll tell y'all, walking through those role playing scenarios in the group, and then at the end getting feedback from the other realtors, and then Rosemary weighing in. I mean, oh my God. Now when I have these conversations, because I'm an introvert to my core, I don't
Yeah.
even, so having these conversations with strangers, my husband is the opposite. So we go places, he's always talking to people. Then he dragged me in, and I'm like, oh, hi, because it's just not me. But even with my personality, going through these role playing exercises have given me the confidence to step out there and make these calls boldly and be okay with it. It's, you know what? I'm shooting my shot. This is it. I'm good. I have the script. So it took the stress out of the conversation by showing me, okay, these are the things you hit. You don't have to go in order. You don't have to be so stressed about hitting them just flow, just let the
Yeah.
conversation flow. So it was wonderful for me.
Well, you are a wonderful addition to our real estate bestie community, and we are just so grateful for you, girl. I
Thank
appreciate you.
you. Thank you.
Now, I do want to say this. If we have some besties that are listening, they're like, you know what? Cecilia is like my jam. I really like her. And they might have a referral. I mean, I know me and you serve the same market, but you might be a better fit for some of our real estate besties. How can they get in contact with you?
They can reach me on Instagram at C Will the Realtor, Cecilia Williams Realtor. You can find me that way. Or at cecilia.williams at exprealty.com.
Okay, and we'll put all of that in the description box, besties, if y'all want to reach out to Cecilia and just connect with her with all of your referrals. And just to give her a shout out, just to say, hey, girl, I heard you and you encouraged me. You know what? That's what we're here for. Thank you for being here, sis.
Thank you for having me.
Besties, I'm going to interrupt this episode really quickly because y'all, we officially have a devotional that is going out to everyone in the Real Estate Bestie community every single Sunday. Now, why do we need a devotional in real estate? Well, let me just tell you this. I have realized in my life that I need Jesus in every aspect of my life, especially my business. And it literally dropped in my spirit one day that if this is what I need, then other people need it too. And I couldn't find it. So guess what? We are creating it for our real estate besties. So if you want to make sure that you get a weekly devotional where we tie in what we do every single day in business and how we can use that to impact the way that we are walking in our spiritual life, then head on over to rosemarylewis.com/list so that you can get that devotional delivered to you every single Sunday. All right, back to the podcast. Well, Ray Chandra, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Listen, I am so excited to have this conversation with you. And look, I know you, I know how dope you are, but why don't you introduce yourself to the real estate bestie community and let them know how you got into real estate and what you were doing previously before you transitioned to becoming a realtor?
Okay, so my journey is fairly new. I have another career. I'm actually a cosmetologist. That being, hair is my passion. I decided to get into real estate about 2 years ago when quarantine hit, and I was on my actual home buying journey. I wanted to buy a house and I needed to buy a home so that I can grow my hair business. So I started out, being able to sit down and just focus and get that underway. I had a lot of credit issues, no money. And
Yeah.
it was a very, very hard experience, but very humbling. And now I'm super proud because I have a testimony. I felt like at that time, once I met my agent, I was like, I want to learn how to do this. Like, I want to
Yeah.
do what you do. So fast forward 2 years, it took me to get my license just because, but my business, once the world opened back up and
Yeah.
and we all, went on, I was able to get my real estate license earlier this year. So I just felt like I want to help families. I want to help people like me just be able to acquire the home ownership dream. I want them
Yeah.
and be able to build wealth. I wasn't educated or raised building wealth, so it's fairly new to myself. So once I grasped that mindset and those resources, I've just been foot on the gas ever since. So
Oh, I love that, girl. I love this for so many reasons because, there are a lot of agents that enter into the marketplace during the pandemic. And for some, I'm not going to say all, I mean, you are proof that it's not all, but I think that for some, because of the way this whole real estate life looks like from the outside, it looks like it's a money grab, but we know on the inside it's not quite like that, you
absolutely.
know? So when I talk to people and I ask them, like even, I've had clients, I've had friends that are curious about what it looks like to be an agent. And if not to say that you can't make money, not to say that freedom, time freedom, location freedom isn't a factor, but if their answer does not kind of include at some point the service aspect, then I get concerned, right?
Absolutely.
Because yeah, because we are definitely, this is a service-based industry. and you have to have a heart to serve. So what I hear you saying is that your greater why, it's almost like, you went to a great like I think about going to a great restaurant. When I go to a great restaurant, I want to tell everybody about it. Like, oh, you gotta go over here and you gotta get this, you gotta get that. And you're like, look, I was able to make this change for my life, and I want to help as many people as I can. So I love that. And I love that for you. Yes.
Absolutely. And besides the just loving homes, I have this thing where I like to walk in nice houses and be able to look around and and just dream. That's one thing that attracted me to you is just the relatable. You're very, very relatable. And a lot of people in this industry, I follow a lot of agents and some of the higher ups, and we see you as like a celebrity. So, but
No,
me, you don't act, you're very, very down to earth, and it's encouraging and inspiring. And
I appreciate that.
so, yeah, when I found you, I actually found you through your podcast. I started
Okay.
with the mindset thing, and I found your podcast, and I would listen to it every day. And I'm just like, I've got to dig deeper with this woman. Like, I don't know, it was an attraction, and that's a good thing. The way you run your business, how you care about people, it's very attractive. And just listening to your podcast, you don't gatekeep anything. Just being free with the information and wanting to genuinely help real estate agents with their business. I was even able to use some of your teachings for my other business. So it's
Yeah,
like,
wow.
you can apply, all of your strategies and techniques to just any business,
Yeah.
because it's about humanity, and it's about like you said, serving people, and it's about your mindset and what you're doing it for. So it's not paycheck based. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. And you actually bring up a good point that I know that you're going to be able to speak about this because you did. Not only are you an avid podcast listener, and I'm so grateful for you, but you actually invested in the cohort of Real Estate Bestie Academy. And I know that there are
Yeah.
someone who might think, because I do kind of let it loose on the podcast, but I think it's totally different, right? When you are in the academy. So if you could just share, number one, what made you make the investment in yourself to join Real Estate Bestie Academy, and what differences can someone expect? Like they're like, I listen to the podcast, I'm pretty good, but how is it different actually being a part of that experience?
Yeah, so when I first started, I got my license in February, and it was a very difficult start. Like my start was kind of slow because I was with a company. I went with a brokerage that was kind of like fast track you into production. But me being a hairstylist, I know nothing about real estate, so it was like things weren't clicking for me as far as cold calling and getting on the phone and talking to people. And although I run a business where I talk to people every day, it was it
Yeah,
was a
it's
totally
different.
different thing. Yeah. So I wasn't feeling a lot of it. Although, it did help me to get education on how to get started and things like that. It took me all the way until the middle of the year. I changed brokerages, and I got in on a team that actually kind of took me, and nurtured me, and actually took the time to prepare me for producing in real estate. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, things are starting to click. And on the side, I was doing my own education. So when was already familiar with you, but just your approach to organically growing your business, there's so many different ways you can do it. I felt like it was more of the way I wanted to structure my business.
Hmm.
So investing in the academy for me was a no-brainer, because I felt like I was going to get that one-on-one. I would be able to get that process because I wasn't confident in the process. Well,
Hmm.
what's to start here? What's next? What's next? And honestly, the academy broke that down for me. And so from the first week, just the way you had everything, structured and laid out. And of course, the coursework was work at your own pace, but we had our coaching sessions, and then the role play major. I could not role play, and I was just like terrified
Yeah.
after doing yours and then getting one of the besties. We teamed up. It was like, okay, it was like I just grew confidence.
Oh, I love that.
That one call that you and I were on, and you caught and we role played and you called me out. I was like, I could have died. And honestly just going through it. And now I'm just like, "Oh, I can do this." So it
Yes.
was like that saying you have, "Do it scared." I was like,
Yes. Yeah, do
"Oh,
it scared.
I just gotta do it scared. I'm terrified, but Imma do this conversation." So
No, I
and so
love that.
yeah, the deep, in-depth, everything that you talk about on the podcast are fantastic, but you go into detail. It gets in depth. We get to the meat and potatoes of of what you
Yeah.
need to do to grow your business, and it's more so it gives you that confidence to be able to make those steps, versus if you're listening to the podcast and you're like, "Oh, I'm still kinda on my own."
Yeah.
You got that guidance. And
No.
the encouragement.
Yeah, I love that. Everything that you said, it just, it's the same way, like the same way you feel about why you wanted to be a realtor and, just making sure that you are letting other people know that home ownership is possible. That's exactly why we have Real Estate Bestie, right? So that we let all the other real estate agents who just don't, it's not that you don't aren't capable, but we don't know what we don't know. And that's what I want to do. I want to help make things as plain as possible so that we can get things done. So let me ask you this, Ray. How does business look now? I know we're just a few weeks removed from you being in the academy. So it takes a while to get transactions under contract, but even a sense of like when you're showing up to these conversations and prospecting, how have you changed from before to now?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel, like a realtor. So, my confidence level is, through the roof. I almost, yesterday, actually, I have a client that, we almost went under contract. Unfortunately, we couldn't work the numbers, it just wasn't working out, but prior to the academy, I couldn't get to step 1 after pre-approval, well, step 2 after pre-approval trying to get, just do showings, let alone to travel to I went to another city, did a showing, and she was, and to put in an offer, I've been really, really confident with everything that I'm doing now. Before, I was still like, "Am I sure I can do this? I don't know. What do I
Yeah.
see? What do I do?" And now I'm just like, and I woke up this morning to another lead that was like, "Hey, I need you to help me to buy a house." So I feel like because I'm now investing in my business, in myself, and I'm having more confidence, I feel like I'm manifesting that
Yeah.
actual business. I feel like he's always going to look out for me, but I have to put in the work as well.
Yeah. We have to make the first step.
Exactly. I feel like that now I'm putting in that work, and I feel like your academy helped me with my relationship with God. So I don't
Oh,
know if
good.
all the folks out here that are, everybody I don't want to, I dig too deep into, but God is very, very important in this equation. So,
Yeah,
I found
absolutely.
that something that was really refreshing also with your academy, the prayer, just because we go through so much now on a day to day, and now I feel like I know that I'm not alone in
Yeah.
in my business. I'm not alone in the way I feel. I'm not alone in everything that's the way I feel about everything going on in the world around me. And so that's camaraderie that we have now.
Built. Yeah.
Couple of the besties, we still talk. They reached out when we had a situation here in town, and she reached out because she was close to here in Tennessee. So
Yeah.
that just shows too what your academy does, brings other people together from all over. So, and
Yeah.
this is one of the besties from Memphis. So
Yeah. I
that
love
was
it.
cool. We're in the same state, and now we're like cool. So,
Wow. I
and
love it.
your
I
academy
love
did
it.
that. So we wouldn't know one another at
Yeah, now
all.
you got some real life real estate besties.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah,
I love
so,
it.
yeah, it's just, it does so much, it's done a lot in the last month for my business, and then too, anticipating more, interaction. We have the retreat coming up, so a lot of us now is that confidence building. We have tasks to work on in between, and then
Yep.
when we see you again, then we know we're going to the next step, the next level. So,
Yep.
it's a blessing to
Oh
my
no.
business, sure.
I love it. Well, let me ask you this. If you have, let's talk to that person because I love that you recognize that investing in the academy was not an investment in Rosemary, right? It was an investment in you and your business. but it is an investment,
It
right?
it is.
So what would you say to the person who, to the bestie that's listening to this and they're like, their stomach is fluttering because they're not used to investing in themselves in this way, and flat out they're scared to spend the money?
That in that way, because I am an entrepreneur 2 times, um,
Mm-hmm.
I've spent thousands upon thousands. I don't even know at this point. I'd have to go back in my books to see how much I've invested in both of my businesses to this point, and I don't regret a dollar that I've
Yep.
spent because each time I spend money within probably less than 6 months, I make that investment back
Yeah.
sometimes over. Like, I've done it. So to that person, I talk to a lot of people that don't want to invest, and I tell you, it take money to make money. And
Yes.
so, just speaking on the just a business perspective, if you don't invest in yourself, then how are you going to expect someone else to invest in you? Because you won't have
Exactly.
the tools and the resources to give the best service or for whatever you're doing, whether that's, real estate. When I do hair, I've got to invest in the best tools.
Yep.
S I didn't think anything less of my second business. So
Yeah.
that part of the mindset was already there for me. I know if I need to get it, I'm trying to go to the best.
Yeah.
And honestly, I consider you the best.
I appreciate
do,
that.
I do. To hunt you down, I swear, I've low key stalked you for a good year or so. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. And I cannot wait. I mean, you've already shared with the besties that you are going to be a part of the retreat. Look, friends, we're having a retreat in the Dallas Land area in April 9th through the 11th. Get there, rosemarylewis.com/retreat. Ray will be there. But I can't wait to just meet you in person, to hug you.
Yeah.
And, because as much as you're saying you have made, or I've made an investment in your life, you've made an investment because you are the reason, right? You are the exact reason why we do what we do. So I love that.
Well,
Now,
I'm extremely excited, and even being on, I was a little nervous even on this call. I was just like, I don't know. I just get that it's a good nervous, but it's like, at your level, you should be very, very proud of where you're at, and how you were reaching people just not in your community, but so much farther. Like, I'm way in Tennessee, and I'm just like, I gotta meet this woman.
yeah, it's a blessing. Listen, only the grace of God, only the grace of God.
Yes,
And
yes.
speaking of you being in Tennessee, let all of the besties that are listening who may have a referral for your area, let them know exactly where you serve and how can they get in contact with you.
So I serve the area of Clarksville, Tennessee, basically any of the surrounding areas, which would include Nashville, Tennessee, you have Knoxville, Tennessee, even all the way up to Memphis. And there's some other towns, smaller towns in between. I can serve pretty much all of those areas. If you can reach me on RayShandraSalesHomes@gmail.com.
Spell it out for them, girl. Spell it out.
Look, RaeShandra Sales Homes at gmail.com. My
Perfect.
social is official Ray the Realtor on IG. So I'd be happy to service you on the real estate side, but hey, I service you on the hair side too. We can get just connect
I
with me.
love it. I love it. We're going to put all your links and your contact information in the show notes and description box. But just one bestie to another, I really appreciate you. And I appreciate you just sharing your perspective. I know that it's going to, if Real Estate Bestie Academy is for the listener listening, I know that your perspective is going to help them. But even if this program isn't for them, I know
Yeah.
that you freed them to help them decide, like, you know what, I am worth making an investment in my life. So I appreciate you, girl.
Yes, yes. Get on that. Get in the academy. I just had to plug that because it is the truth.
Yeah, thank you, sis. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Besties, my heart is so full when I hear our besties who have actually gone through the academy express how it has been a change maker in their process. When Cecilia said that, she felt like she was no longer spinning her wheels and was actually adding value to her days based on what she learned in the academy, My goodness, do I resonate with that? I remember so often, and this was my big frustration. I was like, I'm eager. I'm ready to do the work, but I don't know what that looks like. Like, what am I supposed to be doing on a daily basis? And I wish that there was someone to come alongside me and help me figure it out. So to hear her say exactly, and y'all, I did not put the words in her mouth, but to hear her say exactly what learning these things helped me to feel in control, that I was adding value to my days, and to know that a Real Estate Bestie Academy helped her feel the same thing, it is invaluable. And then my girl Ray. Listen, I just love Ray. I loved Ray because every single time she came to class with questions, raising her hands, she was going to get the best out of the experience. And it is not a surprise to me that she has not only conquered her fear of conversations in the role play, but has continued with Real Estate Bestie that she met in the academy. And I'm just so grateful that we were able to create those connections. And y'all, that is one of the best parts. Like, I know without a shadow of a doubt that what I teach, the content that we teach inside of the academy, is going to add structure. It's going to take the guesswork out. It's going to teach you how to have conversations that convert, stay in front of your sphere. It's going to teach you all that, right? But the really, truly beautiful cherry on top is that when you go through Real Estate Bestie Academy, already by the name, we're linking arms with our real estate besties. And I know that it is fostering connections way beyond what you're going to get in a typical course. And it just brings me so much joy. So listen here, friends. As I told you, right now, if you're listening live, the academy is officially open. And listen, for our January 2024 launch, we are doing something super duper special. You're going to have to go to the website to see exactly what that special thing is. Head on over to rosemarylewis.com/academy, because we are making this a no-brainer if this is right for you. And I say if this is right for you because the reality is that everyone is not ready to make this sort of investment. And I get it. And I'm not just talking about an investment of money, but I'm talking about an investment of your time and getting ready to get uncomfortable and get to the next level. But for that person, right, who is like I am, right? Who that person who's saying, you know what? I had it on my vision board. I had it on my goal list that in 2024, I was going to stop making excuses. I'm going to stop breaking promises to myself. And I'm going to make sure that I am doing everything possible to get to the next level. Then Real Estate Bestie is for you. It's for that person who is looking to go from being overwhelmed and disorganized to laser focused on what is going to move the needle in your real estate business. And this is what I promise you, is that you are going to leave this experience feeling equipped and confident to attract the right clients to build a multi-six-figure business. And by the end, you'll have the systems to gain more clients, to secure more listings, and to make more money. And you know what? You're going to have a few extra real life real estate besties that you are going to be able to do life with. And I am one of them. So listen, if this is for you, if you're contemplating it, if you're on the fence trying to figure out what you should do, should you go to the website? Yes, go to the website. Check it out. Enroll in Real Estate Bestie Academy, because let me tell you something. This whole community was designed because I wanted to create what I wish I had. And automatically, you all, and you heard it from Cecilia, you heard it from Ray, I am not gatekeeping. Everything from the role play calls to the content in the actual course that you will have forever to our coaching sessions. It is an open book where we are not just going to serve you because we want you to be a better business person, but we want to serve you to help you elevate your life. So if this sounds like something that would make sense for you, I'm going to invite you to go to rosemarylewis.com/academy, because like literally right now we are open for enrollment, but it's for a limited time. And listen, friends, I promise you this, Academy will never be offered in this way again with all of the cool bonuses you're going to see on the website. So you want to make sure that you check it out right now. And if for whatever reason you're listening after this podcast has been recorded, no worries. Go ahead, still go to the same link, and you will be added to the wait list for when we reopen the course. But we only open it twice a year. That's another thing. So if you're not going to get in now, then man, you're going to be waiting all the way until the fall to get into the course. And we don't want the entire year to pass us by and you are saying shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's say RIP to shoulda, coulda, woulda, and let's say yes to this experience that is way more than just an experience. It really is going to be your pathway to exactly where you want to be in business. All right, besties, I hope that this episode was helpful. As always, hit that share button. If there is a friend that you think really needs to know about the Academy, right? Hey, we are better together, right? That's what we say. We are better together. So if you have a real life real estate bestie and you're saying, you know what, this not only makes sense for me, it makes sense for them too. I invite you to share this podcast. I invite you to share that link with them so that we all can grow together. All right. Bye now. See you next week. If you enjoyed this episode and you have a real life bestie that you think it would resonate with, y'all, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button because you know what? We are better together. Make sure you share the podcast, and I appreciate your reviews. I appreciate you giving me 5 stars more than you know. I'll talk to you next week.